Do not eat the chili. That's literally the first thing I said when I saw the beat-up silver tray roll out from the kitchen like a crime scene on wheels. Steam rising, orange-red slop bubbling like it had secrets, a skin of greasy shine thick enough to use as lip gloss. And then, because the universe wanted me specifically to suffer, I felt the top of my head go lighter. You know how you can tell when your phone isn't in your pocket anymore? That hollow, your soul escaped feeling? Yeah, that, but for hair. I reached up. My ponytail was doing a limp little wave like a deflated party balloon. My fingers slid over that elastic and straight into scalp. My extension? Gone, disappeared, vanished, Houdini'd. Someone behind me goes, "Girl, you look shorter." Another kid snorts, "Why is your head missing a paragraph?" I whip around, all offended and half bald, and then I see it. My 18-inch chestnut clip-in, the one I babysat 3 screaming toddlers to afford, drifting past the sneeze guard like a majestic seaweed ribbon, floating, graceful, and, oh no, headed straight for the cafeteria ladle doing lazy laps through a titanic iceberg of kidney beans. I swear I moved in slow motion, arms out, mouth open, soul leaving body. Stop the... And that's when the lunch lady, Miss Carolyn, queen of the hairnet, MIT degree in glares, plunged the ladle into the chili like she was baptizing it into our doom. My extension disappeared with a tiny slurp. The tray clanged. The line shuffled forward. And there I was, frozen between a tray of mystery nuggets and the mouth of the underworld, watching my hair become protein. "Next!" Miss Carolyn barked. This is where my survival instincts did the dumbest thing possible. I grabbed my lunch tray, marched right up and whispered, "Miss Carolyn, with all due respect and love, I think my hair just fell in the chili." She blinked. "Baby, hair falls everywhere. We wear nets. Keep it pushing." No, like, all my hair, the long part, the expensive part, my clip-in, it's in there. I pointed into the reddish whirlpool like a ship's captain spotting the Kraken. Miss Carolyn's eyes narrowed. If this is a joke, I don't laugh for free. Before I could argue, Coach Parrish, who only eats cafeteria chili like it's pre-workout powder, swaggered up, flexed his biceps at no one, and said, "Hit me with a double scoop, Caro." I actually screamed. It came out like a dying kettle. People turned. Phones came out. Someone yelled, "World Star," which, respectfully, is not even a thing anymore, but okay. Miss Carolyn sighed like taxes and dipped the ladle. Chili plopped onto his tray in a wet pyramid. I stared, searching, praying the strand was hiding, clinging to the tray lip, anywhere but... there. Threaded through the beans like a carnival prize snake. One glossy chestnut ribbon, looped once around a kidney bean as if they'd exchanged vows. "Coach, wait." I dove like a goalie. The tray knocked his hand. Chili slapped onto the counter, slid like a lava flow, and dripped over the edge with a slow-motion splat onto the floor. Silence. Everyone stared at the red splatter on tile like we'd witnessed a murder. Then Pastor's kid gasped, "It looks like... intestines!" And I, half-bald and fully humiliated, squeaked, "That's literally my hair." Phones up. Snap, snap, snap. My humiliation had angles. Coach Parrish blinked at his chili waterfall, then at me. "You good?" "I am missing a ponytail," I said, voice trembling like a violin string. "She is in witness protection, inside the chili." The popular table started cackling like hyenas who got scholarships. Jade whispered to her friend, "There's DNA in the lunch, babe." Miss Carolyn grabbed a pair of tongs with the solemn energy of a surgeon. "Everybody calm down," she announced, which is exactly what you say when you want 0 people to calm down. She leaned over the tray and started fishing. Every clack of the metal tongs against the steel pan echoed through the cafeteria like a church bell for my dignity. Clack. Beans. Clack. Onion chunk. Clack. Is that a Lego? I don't want to talk about it. Meanwhile, the line behind me stretched to Narnia. Someone started chanting, "Hair, hair, hair," and then naturally other people joined because teens are herd animals. The principal, Mr. D, popped his head in, saw me in the chili and Miss Carolyn wrist-deep in bean stew and actually muttered, "I'm gonna retire." Then he left. "Found it," Miss Carolyn said finally, voice flat. She raised the tongs. A wet ribbon lifted from the Red Sea, heavy with sauce, beans clinging like barnacles. Time slowed. A single bean slid down the strand and plopped back into the tray with a little kiss sound. The entire cafeteria gagged in harmony like a choir. "Is that... spaghetti?" Someone whispered hopefully. "It's my hair," I croaked. I reached out for it on pure instinct, like it was a baby being handed back after a hospital mix-up, and Miss Carolyn slapped my hand with the tongs. "Sanitary!" she snapped. "Back up!" She lay my beloved on a napkin like a fallen soldier. It steamed. "Okay," Miss Carolyn said, adopting her war room voice. "We got 2 options. 1, we toss the whole chili. 2, we pretend this didn't happen and call it artisan." The student body, united for once, screamed, "Toss it!" "Budget says no," Miss Carolyn murmured, eyeing the vat like an accountant eyes a yacht. "But federal code says yes." And just like that, the tray of chili, the entire tray, took its final journey to the biohazard bin. The lunch ladies did a whole hazmat dance with gloves and bleach and those yellow caution wet floor signs like they were setting up a nightclub. Meanwhile, my phone started blowing up. Group chats, unknown numbers, airdropped memes of my hair floating like Nessie. Someone slapped a caption on a blurry photo. If you ate third period chili, you're part Rapunzel now. Another. Protein boost. Real. I scooped my soggy friend into my tray with the dignity of a raccoon at a 5-star restaurant and slunk to a corner table. My best friend Mia slid in across from me with eyes like saucers. You okay? I need privacy, I whispered, and 9,000 gallons of boiling water. She peeked at the hair. It smells like cumin. Do not speak to her, I snapped. She is in mourning. Babe, you can wash it, Mia said gently. Chili is basically soup. Soup is chili with better PR, I muttered. We were interrupted by Tate, the kid who thinks he's a food vlogger because he owns one ring light, arriving with a plastic spoon and the bravado of a man who eats scorpions on YouTube. So, like, if I ate hair chili, do I get powers? Mia dead-eyed him. You get a lawsuit. He leaned down close, whispering to his camera. Day 47, trying school lunch hacks. Today's hack. If your chili's crunchy, it's not onions. He winked. I prayed for his downfall. Then, because God hates boundaries, the fire alarm went off. Everyone looked around like, who summoned this? The assistant principal stuck his head in, squinted, and shouted, False alarm, people! Culinary incident only! The cafeteria cheered like we'd won state. Mr. D returned with a clipboard and a face that said he had aged 10 years in 10 minutes. We need statements, he sighed, looking at me, then at the napkin mummified hair. And we need to notify the health inspector. The cafeteria made the noise people make in movies when a judge bangs a gavel. Even Miss Carolyn, battle-hardened saint of the hairnet, visibly flinched. Health inspector? Whispered Jade like we'd said Voldemort. State code, Miss Carolyn muttered. 1 human hair extension in chili equals a visit. Word spread faster than free Wi-Fi. By 6th period, the entire school knew the plot. My hair versus chili, featuring health inspector cameo. Rumors mutated like Pokemon. Some kids swore I had yanked out my entire scalp and slapped it into the vat on purpose for clout. Another said the chili was actually a wig stew program sponsored by Cosmetology Club. Someone airdropped a poster. Chili cook-off canceled due to human garnish. There is no chili cook-off. We've never had a chili cook-off. We have 3 crock pots and a dream. By 7th period, a school-wide email went out. Due to an unforeseen kitchen contamination, the cafeteria will be serving emergency PB&J and apples. Half the school cheered, no one trusts the meat. The other half screamed, peanut allergies. The nurse rolled in like Oprah, pointing at random kids. You get a Benadryl! You get a Benadryl! And then, the health inspector came. He appeared exactly how you're picturing. Clipboard, stern glasses, a jacket that whispers, I own 2 cats and an HOA. He asked for Miss Carolyn, then asked for me. Are you... He squinted at the form. The donor? I am the victim, I corrected. He nodded gravely, then motioned at my tray where the napkin bundle lay like a tiny burrito. May I? I unwrapped my girl. The inspector, to his credit, did not flinch. He peered like a jeweler. Clip in, 18 inches, heat-safe synthetic? He looked at me over the glasses. Kidding. He scribbled on the form. Incident, foreign object, remedial action, disposal. Witnesses, entire sophomore class. He toured the kitchen like a detective in a noir movie, running a finger along a shelf, checking the temperature log. Like the chili did more than hold grudges and hair. He gave Miss Carolyn a citation, which hurt my soul, because that woman has fed us through snow days and supply chain collapses and truly biblical chicken patty droughts. Then he turned to me. Miss, he said, professional but almost kind, I must advise you not to dangle hair over open food service areas. I did not dangle, I protested. I existed. Gravity dangled. He nodded, scribbled, and left in bureaucratic silence. When the bell rang, blessed release, the hallway became a hair-themed amusement park. Someone had taped a sign over the cafeteria door. Medusa's Kitchen. A junior wore a mop cap and hollered, Chili wigs, 2 for 1. The theater kids hummed the Jaws theme when I walked by. I would have run, but I was afraid the wind would peel off another piece of dignity. At my locker, Mia looked at me with that best friend face like a weighted blanket for emotions. You're not going to die, she said. Also, the memes are kind of iconic. I took a breath. Okay, fine. If this is my villain origin story, I need a costume. We went to the bathroom. I clipped what remained of my extensions back in after washing them in the sink with a combination of strawberry hand soap and pure shame. They smelled like a taco truck in a Bath & Body Works, if you're curious. I slicked my ponytail, gelled the baby hairs, told my reflection I forgave her for having a head. We emerged just in time to meet the final boss, the principal's special meeting. Mr. D, Miss Carolyn, the health inspector's email printed in triplicate, my mom, summoned from her job with a text full of crying emojis, all in one room that smelled like coffee and consequences. Mr. D steepled his fingers like a bridge made of stress. We've had a day. Miss Carolyn set her jaw. No one died. Mom folded her arms. My child nearly became seasoning of the month. I sunk into the plastic chair. I promise I wasn't trying to hair bomb anyone. It was an accident. Gravity and hubris. Mr. D sighed. We're not here to blame. We were absolutely here to blame. We just need to ensure this never happens again. Mandatory hair ties for anyone with hair past the collar, Miss Carolyn said. Extra nets for staff, and a new sign. No loose hair near service area. Mom chimed in. And no chili the color of roadkill for at least a week. We all nodded like the UN. Mr. D wrote hair protocols on a sticky note like it would do anything about teenagers being feral. Then Miss Carolyn, surprising all of us, reached into her tote and pulled out a small new box. For you, she said, sliding it across. We can't reimburse, but a friend runs a beauty supply. Inside, a fresh set of clip-ins, silky and untouched by legumes. I teared up. Mia teared up. Mr. D teared up because his sinuses are dramatic. We left the meeting into the golden hour chaos of buses and gossip. I should have hid, but I didn't. I climbed on a bench in the courtyard, held up my sad, washed, chili-scented extension like Simba, and yelled, "She survived!" The courtyard clapped. Someone started chanting my name like I'd scored a touchdown with a hairnet. The freshman journalism kid shoved a phone in my face and asked for a quote. I put on my most tragic voice. Today, we honor those lost to cafeteria cuisine. They went in brave. They came out seasoned. The next day, I walked into school braced for round 2 of humiliation, but half the girls had their hair in buns or braids, and 3 dudes wore shower caps over their buzz cuts, in solidarity. The cafeteria served emergency nachos instead of chili, which was basically tortilla chips with existential dread, but we were fine. A handmade sign hung over the line, "Today's special, hair-free guarantee." The memes lived for a week and then died like all memes. The health inspector's report got filed under "Please do not let this happen again." And my extension? We retired her. She lives in a shoebox lined with satin like a fallen queen, and sometimes, on days when I need humility, I open the box and sniff. Still a faint hint of cumin. Trauma has a scent. Every now and then, someone new finds out. At a basketball game, a kid turned around, eyed my pony, and whispered, "Is that the chili one?" "Yes," I said sweetly. "Want a bite?" He shrieked, "Worth it." Here's the wildest part. Weeks later, Miss Carolyn slid me an extra cookie and said, "You did me a favor." I blinked. She nodded at the kitchen. "We've been asking for new lids, new signage, new training for years. After your little seasoning incident, district found money." So yeah. Life moved on. My hair grew. The cafeteria installed sneeze guards you could bank a ball off. And every time chili's on the menu now, the entire school looks at me, and I just give a solemn nod like the keeper of ancient lore. Do not eat the chili. Kidding. It's fine now. It has a hairnet.